Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Micaela Musa from the Development Academy of the Philippines, and I will be your host for today's and tomorrow's webinars. Welcome to the Public Sector Productivity webinars, organized by the Center of Excellence on Public Sector Productivity of the DAP. The DAP, as the focal organization of the Asian Productivity Organization, will be hosting a new episode for its Public Sector Productivity Webinars 2023. This week's webinar series is entitled Nurturing a Citizen-Centered Use of AI for Improved Productivity. Through this webinar, we aim to enhance awareness and stimulate the discussion in understanding the role of artificial intelligence in improving the delivery of government services, improving allocation and management of resources, and making government operations more efficient. Before we proceed to our program proper, we would like to acknowledge our viewers watching live from our Facebook and YouTube platforms. We would also like to welcome our participants from Commission on Audit, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Pambansang Kapisanan ng mga May Kapansanan ng Pilipinas Incorporated, PhilHealth Regional Office 4A, and National Economic and Development Authority. Again, a warm welcome to all our viewers from different agencies across the Philippines. We apologize if we missed mentioning your agency, but we are thrilled to have you here with us for the webinar series. We hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon. But before we move on, we would like to remind our participants that in order to get an e-certificate of attendance, you should accomplish the session of course evaluation form. The evaluation link will be given at the end of tomorrow's session. For your questions, please feel free to write it at the comment section of Facebook or at the live chat section of our YouTube audience. We'll do our best to answer your questions live at the end of the session. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed presenter for today's webinar. He is the lead faculty for Technology and Innovation at the Y. Sealy Academy of Fulbright University, Vietnam. He graduated with a doctorate degree in Computer Science and Engineering at the Pennsylvania State University, with a research interest in machine learning and computer vision. He has worked on industrial projects with the National Robotics Engineering Center of Carnegie Mellon University and Video Mining Corporation in Pennsylvania, USA. He published 3 US patents with video mining. As an academic, he has served as director and associate professor of the Institute of Computer Science at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. In Vietnam, he served as lecturer and research coordinator of the School of Science and Technology at the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. During his time in academia, he also co-founded and served as chief technology officer for several technology startup companies. These startups delivered various services, including drone-based aerial surveys, video analysis of retail stores, and mobile app development for human resource services. Aside from his main pursuits, he also imparts coding skills to children, teaches them to assemble electronics and create robots. When he's not doing that, he takes pleasure in traveling, appreciating artwork, and playing the piano. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to introduce this afternoon's resource person, Dr. Vladimir Mariano.
Hello. Hello everyone. And magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Okay. I think I'm gonna speak in English, but I'm from Los Baños, Laguna, and I'm happy to be of help in any way I can. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. My screen, is it visible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to share with those who are in the public service sector. As I was researching about the public service, it is quite broad. Okay, what public service is, it's it's pretty much all of government, right? And all the services that government provides, and there are incredible opportunities with using AI for public service. I put in the chat a link to these slides, and feel free to send me email later, or you can. It's better if for further consultation, please approach the DAP or a more contextualized use of these AI tools. So I'm from Fulbright University, Vietnam, and specifically the Waisili Academy, the Young Southeast Asian Leaders uh, initiative of Fulbright, which is a program of the U.S. government for leadership development in Southeast Asia. So for my outline, I'm going to talk about all of you have experience with the old AI, okay? And talking about there's a new AI revolution that has awakened starting last year, 2022. We're going to talk about large language models, which is of which is the most useful of these tools for public service, okay? Specifically ChatGPT. But there are more large language models out there that are coming, and there's a wave of AI innovation now in pretty much all areas of industry and all sectors. There are emerging uses of ChatGPT in public service. We're going to talk about that, but we also want to know your thoughts about what current applications can we use it, can we try it, and what future applications could be. There are also risks with using these large language models for ChatGPT. Okay. Also, the audio is okay. Let me remove the Bluetooth. Okay. Is it audio okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so the risks in using ChatGPT, okay, or large language models, and we're going to conclude this session. First of all, we're all familiar with the old AI. So what is the old AI? When we started using computers long ago, in the 1980s, okay, we were fascinated by all these spell checkers. Okay, so now spell checkers, we take it for granted, but long ago we were fascinated by how well it can check spelling, right? When you are editing a piece of text, when you're editing on your screen. In the advent of emails, way back 1995, we were introduced to spam filters. So spam filters, every email that tries to come into your inbox gets classified either spam or not spam or legitimate emails. So now there's this classification. It classifies, it makes our lives better and makes our inbox a lot less cluttered. And then when Google came along, we were fascinated with web search. So everything you can think, when you think of something, when you want to find out about something, it is kind of automatic now that the first place we want to go is Google or search on the web. And we try to find some related articles or related work with whatever idea we come up with. Okay. So it's the same thing with social media when it came out 16 years ago or around 16 years ago, that when we search for an idea, we look for videos of it on YouTube. or we look for influencers on it on Facebook or Instagram. Okay. And now we have TikTok. We follow them every day whenever we have a particular idea that we have curiosity about it. So not just for our curiosity, but for our work. So when we do some specialized kind of work, we follow certain channels on the internet. We look for them, we follow them, and we look for best practices for these for that we can use for our work. We are now in the age of recommendation systems. Okay, so when you search for something, okay, it tries to give you suggestions or recommendations with on what you should do next, what you should buy, what you should who you should follow. There's always a suggestion on what you need to do next or what you should pursue. Okay? And same with YouTube. Okay, when you after you watch a video, it suggests with you to you the next video you should watch, or it suggests to you an organization that you also need to follow. So this is how we navigate. Okay. So this AI system tries to give us suggestions on what to do next, what to pursue, what to look at. And these are all powered by our data. Okay. And this is a product of what the AI system has learned about us. There is a new AI revolution that is going on. Okay. So after this 2 decades of, or almost 3 decades of the internet, and then you have search, you have the rise of all these companies, you have social media, you have the smartphone. Okay. The smartphone is only around 16 years old. Okay. There's a new AI revolution that is already here. Okay. It was years in the making, but it really made its impact last year. So we have voice recognition. Okay. We have Siri, we have Hey Google, you have Alexa, and now there's now new apps that are coming out where you can just talk to the app and it will give you what you want, what you need. So, and then there's also this new breed of computer vision systems, meaning that if you give it an image or a video, it will tell you what objects are in that video, who the people are in there, and it will tell you what is happening in the video. Okay. My personal research as a graduate student was computer vision. And now these new methods are are like science fiction from a few years ago. We also have last year we have the new image generators. Okay. So I'd like you to try DALI or Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. This is you put in your text or your prompt, and then it will give you the art or the image corresponding to that prompt. And that image is always original. You can generate 10 versions, and then you can use it for whatever presentation you have, or if you're teaching, or when you want to disseminate information, you can accompany your text with an AI generated image. And then just in the last 5 months, okay, so remember that 5 months, we have the large language models, particularly OpenAI's ChatGPT, which really have began a disruption that is it has disrupted the future of work, the future of teaching and learning, and it triggered this tsunami of new startups, new investments into generative AI, where in every industry you will have AI that generates content, okay, particularly text content. And for the there's a lot of news about this, but for this presentation, we're going to look at public service. Okay, so what is large language model? Basically, when you a large language model is the input is a text prompt. Okay, you tell it what you want, or you tell it what you ask it a question, and it will give you a response. Okay. In the simplest, this is the simplest way of describing it, and best way really is to try it. It is worth noting that ChatGPT is only 5 months old. Okay. It came out in November, on the last day of November 2022. 5 months old, and within 5 days, it has its first 1 million users. So it is being adopted globally, and it is people are now trying it across different industries, including public service, and the scale of its potential disruption is really huge. It is it is predicted to redefine much of the tasks that we have been doing for the last many decades. Disruption of school, disruption of jobs, okay, create new jobs, and to automate much of the tasks that we do every day. So the input is a text prompt, the output is a text response. Okay. So I'd like to know how many have tried this. Okay. How many of you have tried ChatGPT? Uh, I I don't know if it is free in the Philippines. I hope it is, so people can try it. Okay. And large language models are expected to transform many tasks across many industries. Okay. So I believe that it is a government or the public sector which has to do the lead in studying or looking at what what tasks, okay, are going to be disrupted, okay, and lead the discussion on the use of these new generative AI tools. It is expected to revolutionize teaching and learning. So, in teaching and learning, many of the requirements for students has to do with text. Okay, so you give an exam, you have questions. If you input the question to ChatGPT, it will give you an answer, and it will give you any kind of answer that you need. For example, in the level of third year high school, or at the master's level, or writing in the style of a certain writer, maybe Jose Rizal. And teachers can also use ChatGPT to check, to make exams, to check the answers. Okay. So the input is the answer of the student, the output is the evaluation or the assessment. So these are the things that can be used, okay, for good. Okay. They said that it can be used by students for cheating. Okay, but there is now people are now saying that we can you can use ChatGPT as a tutor, as an AI tutor, and we should review how we teach, how we assess our students. And it's still very new, 5 months old, but we don't need to wait for 2 years or for a few months. We can try it now and see how teachers will respond to these new tools, and students as well. It has the potential to multiply worker productivity by suggesting starting points, doing research, and automating repetitive text-based tasks. So one of my conclusions for this talk is that workers in the public sector can give the tedious and repetitive tasks to AI and focus more on the human aspect of public service, like talking to people or engaging them in conversations or help or being empathetic to 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 those who we are serving in the public sector. The volume was decreased. Oh. Can you check again? Ipa-check mo nga dun sa taga-tap. Okay. I think there was a problem with my audio. Okay, can you... Hello, 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 hello.
Hi, Sir Vlad. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then the best way to learn about it is to try it. Okay, try ChatGPT, and I hope you can have a conversation about this in your office and see what tasks within your office can be automated by this AI tool. Okay, so as per my research, there has been some emerging use cases of ChatGPT or large language models. So you can think of ChatGPT as a super assistant who is smart, very articulate, confident, okay, when it gives out a response, but not always truthful. Okay, it will try to give some facts, okay, but some of those facts you have to check, okay. So as in public service, we when we decide, it should be based on the truth. So if we are going to use ChatGPT as an assistant, then we have to check the truthfulness. Although many of the new tools out there, they have recognized that truthfulness is a problem. Therefore, they are trying to fix it and come up with new versions of these large language models that can check truthfulness. We can use ChatGPT for customer service, for answering questions. Okay. So if much of your tasks are, if you have a lot of questions with regards to your service, then you can potentially create a version of ChatGPT, okay, or use ChatGPT in order to answer these questions. We can support officials using AI assistant systems. So we don't want to to take out of the job yung mga assistants natin, but a lot of the tasks are kind of mundane and repetitive or tedious or paulit-ulit na lang. We can use AI assistant systems for this. Okay, so to support our officials so that they can focus more on the job at hand. There are many problems that we need to address when we are doing public service, and one of them is cybersecurity and data management problems. We can use ChatGPT to find solutions. Okay, so sometimes our officials and those in public service are kind of overloaded by questions, and a lot of these questions are it takes time to address them, okay, especially answering some technical questions or processes with in relation to the particular service. So we can use large language models to answer these questions. Another useful another useful um, use case for ChatGPT is summarizing documents. When you want to make a decision, usually you do your research. You have many documents. You have many news articles. You have documents from different sectors, and you kind of want to know the main points inside these long documents, and you want to take a grasp of what these are. Okay, what are the main points? And you can use ChatGPT to summarize a document into perhaps a PowerPoint presentation with 5 slides, or you can summarize it in a small paragraph, okay, or a one-page summary. In education, this can remove a lot of the burden from teachers in terms of in terms of teaching and learning. So imagine a teacher teaching a room full of 50 students in public school, and the teacher can use ChatGPT as kind of a tutor. Okay, so students can explore one topic that the teacher gave, and their learning journeys can be recorded in a with a chat gpt, and this could be a powerful tool for formative assessment. Okay, and this can be useful in group settings among students. So this will be like a teaching assistant for public school teachers and an AI tutor for students. So we have to rethink what public school education could be with AI tools like this. Okay? So this can potentially multiply the productivity of public school teachers. So instead of all the burden, all the mundane tasks, and the teacher can simply concentrate on being a mentor, a face-to-face mentor with these students, while having an AI assistant like ChatGPT to help the students in what they're learning at the moment. ChatGPT is also very good in drafting documents. If you have a specific document, for example, your application letter, resignation letter, a speech, okay, it can give you a starting point. It can give you a draft speech, okay, and then you can, as you interact with ChatGPT, you can refine and refine and refine that speech, okay. So gone are the days where you have to spend like 2 hours to make a speech. Now you can have a first draft, and then as you interact with ChatGPT, you can make the speech better and better. And it can give you a starting point of new ideas for your speech, for your research, or for whatever paper you are doing. So this is quite revolutionary because there are speech writers out there. You write your speech, okay, but now you can have an outside help, the help of an AI assistant, in order to create these documents, these speeches. And if you already have a speech, you can focus on delivering, okay, on the artistic or on the empathetic side of a speech, okay, instead of putting all your effort into creating that text. So this way, as a public servant, you can connect emotionally, empathetically with your constituents. So I tried today to ask ChatGPT what are good what is a good use of ChatGPT for public service. Okay, so this is the response. So I asked it, what are the uses of ChatGPT in public service in the Philippines? So it gave me a list of five things, and please verify if this is correct. If it so we can take a look one by one. Okay, number one, information dissemination. ChatGPT can be used to disseminate information about government programs, services, and policies. It can provide quick and accurate answers to frequently asked questions and help the public better understand complex issues. I think that's a plausible answer because constituents want answers and they want it right now. Okay, they want, as they have this issue bothering them, or they just want to understand something. They can use an AI assistant like ChatGPT or maybe other tools out there in order to get their initial answer. Number two, online assistance. ChatGPT can assist in providing online assistance to citizens who need help with government services or procedures. Okay. So this AI assistant can answer questions about requirements, procedures. Sometimes a procedure in getting service is quite long, and when. Okay, and it will help guide people through the process. Okay, I think that's a plausible explanation. Number three, public feedback and engagement. ChatGPT can be used to collect feedback from the public on government services and policies. Um, it might be questionable because collecting feedback that should be given on the government website, okay, or some communication channels within the government. Um, Maybe you can tell it to ChatGPT, which it should collect and give to our public servants for curating and for evaluating, right? Can provide a channel for citizens to voice their concerns and the government to better understand the needs of the people. Okay, so normally, I don't know about this, but perhaps there will be a future platform where you have your chat GPT here and then you have your public engagement over here. So all the feedback will will be given to that particular office, okay, and it will be saved, and also all the questions from given to ChatGPT will also be given to our public servants so that they know the sentiments of the people. Emergency response. This is a good future application of ChatGPT. So it can provide like emergency response of where to go, where to get what you need, and you can have real time updates on the situation. Okay. So at the moment, I don't know if ChatGPT can actually do this, but there will be somebody can build a platform perhaps this year for when you ask something about about when you're in an emergency and you need a response immediately. This AI assistant can give you that response. Okay. So the great thing about this is it is very different from a search engine. In the search engine, you have to look for that particular piece of information on the internet using your um, search skills. Okay, typing your search phrase. But with a large language model like ChatGPT, you can just tell it what you want. Tell me what is the tell me where is the nearest barangay health center, or my daughter is about to give birth. Where is the nearest place that she can go to. Okay. And when you have a disaster, for example, these are real time, this deals with real time information. And sometimes you don't have time to search for it on the internet. Therefore, you can ask an AI assistant to tell you what you want right now. Okay. Health education is also very important, that the the important health information and education can be provided to the constituents, as they are asking questions about health issues and what they're going through. And it can also be used to disseminate information on on health. Okay. So this is just my experiment on ChatGPT, asking this public service questions. But I'd like you to try it. Please try it and see. And then you can ask DAP what kinds of initiatives can we do in the public sector that can help us to leverage on these new AI tools to make public service better. Now there are risks. Okay, so all the good things about ChatGPT, okay, they're good, but there are risks that we need to understand. ChatGPT will sound very confident even if it is not completely truthful. Okay, so parang it's very, imagine a assistant who is very articulate, who is very confident to say something, anything about any topic, but not everything that it says is the truth. Okay, so you have to check. You have to check the facts that are stated in the output of ChatGPT. But researchers are now trying to address this, and there are versions of large language models that give citations and sources so that you can check the truthfulness of these answers from the chat GPT. The answers can be biased since it was trained on mostly Western data. Okay, so the whole corpus of training data used for training ChatGPT is mostly in the West. Okay, so there we need more data from the Philippines, and even at the more local level, the provincial or even the municipal level, in order to have a more localized version of this. Okay, and note that ChatGPT is only 5 months old. There will be new tools like this, and we need more localized tools like this, and perhaps Google and Microsoft will come up with this soon. So for my conclusion, okay, for my conclusion in my talk, I would like to for each office out there to try and explore this exciting tool. We are in the early stage of this AI revolution, and it seeks to automate a lot of our tasks. Okay, it is important that we really learn this quickly. It's already available because it has the potential to remove the burden of a lot of repetitive tasks and mundane tasks that takes a lot of our time. A lot of our time can be spent with really talking with our constituents, or talking, or a teacher talking to the individual students, rather than spending half a day making an exam or checking an exam. Okay? Or for public officials to to generate quickly, for example, a speech or a response to one of the questions of their constituents. So again, ChatGPT is very young, 5 months old. And there are many similar tools are out there, like Google's Bard or Meta or Facebook. Meta is also Facebook. They have this new tool called Llama. Okay. So these are things that we need to learn about. Okay, so let us consider this as a tool, okay, rather than as a threat to our jobs. And perhaps of the time, half of their task can be automated by these tools. We don't have to be afraid of it, but instead we can add more value as humans, okay? Humans with a heart. We have a heart, right? We have a heart for our people, but the machine, the AI, does not have a heart. it cannot have it cannot express, okay, empathy. It can mimic empathy maybe, but it does not have a heart, unlike people like you and me who can really empathize with the problems or the issues facing our people. So the tools that we are using right now, like Microsoft Word or Google Docs or Facebook, will soon have these tools that are similar to ChatGPT. It is evolving fast, and it is getting better every week. Okay, not just it's not staying the same. So it will keep getting better at generating answers or even more truthful answers uh, later on. Okay, so it is an exciting time for us, and it is useful, but not always truthful. Okay, so be very vigilant in checking the facts in the response of ChatGPT. So this is something to look after. Okay, kapani-paniwala ba? It is very confident. Okay, note that it's very confident. It might convince you that what it is saying is the truth, but you have to be aggressive in looking at what it is saying, whether it is plausible or it is truthful. Truthful is really what we have to look out for, because our decisions as public servants has to be based on the truth, okay? And nothing but the truth. So in the near future, there will be new versions of large language models, and it will be able to adapt to particular domains. Okay? So for example, in the public service, you have all everything, like you have health, you have sanitation, you have education, and we will have in the near future we will have large language models that will be catered specifically for these domains. So this is something we can participate in creating, and this is exciting time. Okay, so hopefully it will put a heart in we will focus more on the heart of our service and not just on the mundane tasks. Okay. So this is my final conclusion, that government workers, those in the public service, can focus more on the human side, okay, the heart, okay, the human side of public service rather than the repetitive and mundane or the tedious task. So that is the essence of public service in order for us to really connect with our people and to serve them well. Oop, and then my final slide. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
And
Thank you for the informative and engaging presentation, Sir Vlad. And I believe this topic is relatable and timely, as we are now in the process of adopting several tools in advancing our ways in the bureaucracy. I understand that the role of AI is really a game changer, especially in creating productive and efficient environment to deliver our services in the public sector. And here at DAP, we see the value of integrating AI in the public sector to increase productivity. Actually, I had an assumption before your talk, Sir Vlad, that um, integrating or using AI um, produce more harm than good. So I just thought that it takes away the social or the human aspect in terms of serving the people. But as I listened to your talk, I realized that it really depends on how we will use it. It also depends on our intention to start with. So we should focus on developing ways or developing best practices in using AI to perform beyond what is expected from us. So at the end of the day, AI tools are originally created to make our services more meaningful and more productive. So now we are in the Q&A part of our program. We encourage our online viewers to jot down any more questions that you would like to ask our resource speaker. But we already have a couple of questions here, Sir Vlad. So for your first question, what are the ethical considerations that need to be taken into account when using AI in the public sector, and how can these be addressed?
Okay, ethics. Actually, it's more than ethics. It's law. Okay, sometimes it's ethics. It's law. Um, there are many. Ethical. It means that yeah. When students, for example, in public education, when students use ChatGPT to generate an essay, for example, or when it interacts with ChatGPT in refining an essay and then submits it to the teacher, is that ethical or not? It's not. Maybe 70% of it is written by the AI, 30% is written by the student. Is that ethical or not? Some It is now a debate raging in the United States and elsewhere in the world that on and whether this is good or not. Should we change teaching? And also, if we taking credit for essays, for content that we give out there. Okay, can you take credit, okay, for a document if it is if most of it is written by AI? Okay, and also there's now some issues. There is now an example in Colombia where the ruling of the judge, okay, the ruling, okay, was most of it was generated by ChatGPT. Or when you draft a particular law or resolution, okay, and most of it, okay, so you wrote the prompt and it gave you an output and then you iterated several times, but most of it is written by AI. Okay, before it was completely written by a person, so now it's written mostly by AI, but you checked it. Is that ethical or not, or is that lawful or not? So there has to be an extensive um, discussion on this, okay, in ethics and law. Every sector, yes.
For your second question, Sir Vlad, how invasive is ChatGPT to our privacy on the net, and how safe is it to use it? The question is from Sir Joey Noble.
Okay, yeah, that's another thing. Data privacy. Um, One thing with ChatGPT is it learns from data on the internet, okay, and from most public data. So sometimes it will give out information that can be found on the internet, but sometimes you don't want that information to leak out. Okay. In terms of privacy, it is a big consideration, and we don't know yet, okay, what is the extent by which it can it 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 disrupts our data privacy. It is something that has to be studied. Okay, or sometimes when you interact with ChatGPT, if you give some very personal identifiable information, then it can learn that and it can spit it out in answers to other people. In that regard, that is a huge no-no, especially if you have confidential information in the government. Um, it has to be studied. I don't know the answer, and I don't know how it treats data privacy and what is the bigger issues out here, because it deals with the law, with privacy, with ethics. So there has to be we need a department in the government who really studies this, who tries it again and again, and even on different sectors. Siguro my suggestion is do not use it for critical tasks at the moment right now. Just use it for learning and what's the potential for these tools, but do not use it for critical tasks. Um, Use it just to learn what it can do and what mundane tasks can be automated without giving too much private information.
Actually, I agree, Sir Vlad, that we should be mindful of the information that we're trying to feed ChatGPT because it is, as you have said, it's very young, so it has a huge room for improvement, or we have a huge room of learning it. So we need to be mindful, especially of confidential information that we're trying to feed ChatGPT. Um, I think we have still time for another question. So, the question is from Sir Fasho Boni. How do you think, or can you suggest how will I start the communication about the value of AR or the absence of AI technology in my organization or with the members of my organization? Sorry,
So
Sir
the
Vlad, do
question
you
is
have any?
how do you begin?
Yes.
Siguro today open an account on ChatGPT and use it. Use it in crazy different ways. Okay, like write a speech or write me an application letter or create me a PowerPoint slide, a PowerPoint presentation on a very specific topic. Try to be as specific as you can. For example, in the area of environment, or in the area of cleaning the river in Batangas City, for example. And even try other languages like Tagalog or Bisaya or Ilocano. It can respond and try to look at the response. It could be funny, but it we try to learn what this tool can do. Okay, and look at the tasks that you are doing right now. Okay, that takes you a long time that you wish somebody would kind of automate. And yeah, don't give it too personal information, but yeah, just try it. And I think there's a big diversity of our listeners that, and siguro DAP or what's the organization tomorrow, the DOST. They can do a wide a study of the use cases of this. And even drafting laws. Okay, it can be very creative in drafting a new what do you call that, at the barangay level or municipal level, yung mga resolution number 1075 ganyan. Okay, which takes a long time, di ba? But then when you can remove the some of the things there and then put in your details, and then you what should have been done for 2 hours, you can do it in 10 minutes. That saves a lot of time. Okay, so it is promising.
Last question, Sir Vlad. How do we encourage agencies to use AIs like ChatGPT in the public sectors like the PNP?
Okay, how do we encourage? Siguro ano, you can you can try some use cases and then try to awaken their curiosity. It's really curiosity which really drives you to try something, diba? To learn something. And if if the selling point really is to be able to cut the number of hours you do on a certain task, then that is really good, right? Either you can do more human tasks like talking to people or engaging them in public programs and do more face-to-face interactions with the people rather than doing all this paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork in government, right? And if a significant part of that can be automated, or at least you reduce the amount of time, then it is a great selling point for all agencies to start trying it. Okay. And when you try these tools, don't take it for what it is right now. It is evolving. There is now a big AI revolution coming up. Every week it is getting better and better. So it means that we should be continuously learning about these tools and look at other tools as well, those from Google, from Meta, and see how they can be useful. They can be useful. Before there were no computers, right? There were no phones, there were no websites, but now we have them, and it makes our services better. So it is the same with AI tools, that it can make our service much better, more efficient, more timely for our constituents.
Right. Thank you, Sir Vlad. And I think this is all the time that we have for today. Again, we would like to express our gratitude, Sir Vlad, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise.
Thank you.
But before we end this program, as a reminder, we would like to remind our participants that in order to obtain an e-certificate of attendance, webinar viewers are required to complete the session's evaluation forms and pass the exam. You will receive the link to the unified 2-day evaluation and exam after the second session tomorrow. And we appreciate your cooperation. Again, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Thank you and have a great day.
Imagine a Philippine government whose image among the public is a model of good governance and bureaucratic efficiency as envisioned in the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. As we all know, the public sector plays a critical role in serving the needs of our communities and in achieving a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society. However, we also recognize that there are challenges and opportunities for improvement in the way we deliver public services, from healthcare and education to transportation and infrastructure. The Development Academy of the Philippines, as the country's national productivity organization, recognizes and advocates the importance of raising government productivity to improve its efficiency and effectiveness in delivering better and quality services.
To support this, the Academy, through its Center of Excellence on Public Sector Productivity, proudly launches the Productivity Challenge to reinforce the government's effort in raising the productivity performance of government agencies in the country.
Its goal is to advance the productivity movement in the public sector by raising awareness and enabling a culture of innovation to improve productivity performance and public service delivery.
A multi-year project from 2023 to 2026 that intends to foster awareness and boost the productivity and innovativeness of public sector organizations in the Philippines.
The Productivity Challenge serves as a nudge to accelerate the much-needed productivity change in the Philippine government. The project has set annual targets that will be posed as a challenge that enjoins the Philippine government agencies to achieve collectively. For 2026, it's money-wise, 1 billion pesos saved. For 2025, paperless, 1 million sheets of paper saved. 2024, fast break, 100,000 transaction hours reduced. And to jumpstart this initiative, the first challenge is entitled 2023 Productivity Spark 1000 Ideas for Productivity. It is designed to provide an open space to generate innovative ideas that improve productivity in public service delivery, government processes, and operations. Individuals and groups from PSOs are enjoined to send suggestions that reinvent approaches in areas where productivity is much needed. How can you join the Productivity Challenge? Participants must register and submit their entries through this link. A QR code is also provided on our Facebook page and website. Make sure that the information and requirements for each entry include title of the idea, brief description of the productivity problem, solution to improve productivity, expected benefits from the solution, any illustration that would support the solution, and a 60-second video pitch describing the idea. The video must address productivity issues and demonstrate the innovative idea that would answer but not be limited to the following Spark questions. How might government offices produce more with less? How might waste in government operations be reduced? How might government employees do things right the first time? How might government offices earn public trust and confidence? All submitted entries will be posted in the CUEPSP Facebook page, YouTube channel, and the Productivity Challenge website within 2 weeks after receipt. Interested individuals or groups may submit multiple entries, and these entries will be accepted on a rolling basis. Individuals and groups whose entries meet the criteria will receive certificates and tokens from the Academy and will be featured in our online and social media platforms. Are you up to the challenge? The problems and public demands we face in the public sector are significant. By working together, we can make the Philippine government as a model of good governance and bureaucratic efficiency a reality. Let's continue to challenge ourselves and our organizations to be better and to stay focused on the needs of the people we serve. Join us as we work together to elevate public services and raise productivity of government agencies. Let's get started. Let the spark begin.